Hey guys, it's Kelly. Hey, I hope you really like this page. I had so much fun doing it. I think it's going to wind up being one of my favorites in my mini art journal that I've got going now. I only got 2 pages left, and I think this one's going to be my favorite. I love that lady from the Stamperia paper. It really spoke to me with all the gears in her head, and I wound up using the sentiment "Courage is found here" for all kinds of reasons. So loved that one. So it's from the Mechanical SeaWorld paper bag from Stamperia. I cut out a bunch of pieces that I wanted to use to kind of collage, and I did it the background off camera with some firebrick red, cracked pistachio, and peacock feathers. And then I filled in the white space with the sponge and just kind of inked it and filled it in a little bit. There was still some white areas and it looked good, but I wanted some cream color. So the background wound up being a little too splotchy with the firebrick red. I like how it turned out and matches the paper well, but I needed to mute it down a little bit. And this is a really good trick to do. Just use your acrylic paint. It works fine over the oxide ink. You don't have to freak out about that. And just dry brush it on and let your brush give the texture that you're looking for, and it'll give you just more texture and more interest in the background, and mute it a little bit, but not too much to where it undoes everything that you did in the background. I usually love the backgrounds. It's usually my favorite part, but sometimes it's a little try hard, a little much. So to fix that, just use some paint. And just make sure that your brush is an old one with rough bristles so that you get all that yummy texture from the acrylic paint. And then I dried that up. Everything is dry. And then I wanted some more visual texture in the background. I love to put the scripting stamp in the background. I don't want words. I have no idea what language that is. If it isn't a language, I don't know. It could be just a bunch of scribbles. I really don't know. Don't care. I just love the way that it is. And that is my favorite stamp. I took it off of the wood block. I ripped it off of that, and then I can manipulate it and use it however I would like. So I inked it up one time and it didn't stick, so I had to push down on my ink pad. So I am using the archival ink because I wanted it to go over the paint and over the ink and not move. So just a tip, if you're going to stamp over that kind of stuff, try to use the archival ink if you don't want it to move. And I made sure it was nice and dry. And then it's time to get my collage on. So I've talked about this in other videos. If you want to do this collaging type of art journaling, then definitely just get it together. You fuss with it until you get it the way you like it, and use your cell phone, take a picture of it. Once you got a really good design, before you take it apart to glue it all together, make sure you take a picture of it. Because I've got lots of little pieces, and I fell in love with the way that I had the design working. And if I didn't take a picture, I would have lost the design that I found that I really liked. It's double-sided paper, so you can use either side, and they're all from the same paper pack, so they're going to match nicely, but that doesn't mean that they always, I don't know, some look better next to each other than others. So I don't know what's wrong with my camera, but it's all blurry and splotchy. I'll have to work on that. I really have no idea why that happens every once in a while, but it did. So my sentiment, courage, is found here in the mind of a woman. I needed it lifted, but I didn't want to use the tape or the I didn't want to get too high. So instead of using the foam tape, I wound up just cutting little pieces of cardstock and put them behind each piece. And it worked out well. And obviously I inked all of the pieces that I cut out. I inked every single one of them off camera, so I didn't bore you with that. And then I put them down. Also, what I did off camera was I kind of laid her face down and all the other elements down there. And then I added some vintage photo behind them, so I had a little bit of a shadow behind each one. And my camera keeps blaring in and out, so it's hard to see, but hopefully you can see it in the still pictures. So yeah, there's a hack for you guys. Cut small pieces, and this it's not a new one. A lot of people already do it, but if you don't know it, just cut small pieces of cardstock to put behind your sentiments, and it gives you just enough lift without giving it too much, because sometimes the foam tape is just too much. And I've got a lot of layers in here, so I definitely needed some, but I didn't need a lot. And then another hack to think about is that, if you're going to do what I do and you're going to make your art journal page and then put it in your book, You want to have like a little frame. You can either use your sponge or your foam, or you can just put it straight to the paper, your ink pad straight to the paper. Totally up to you. And here I'm just showing you that don't forget that when you do use your blending foam, you wind up getting it all over your glass mat. And be careful, because if you wind up putting your paper down on it, you're going to ruin whatever other page you have. So remember that. And then also hand sanitizer. Like I said earlier, make sure you use hand sanitizer to clean the glass mat. It's so quick and easy. And then it also gets the ink off your hands too. So if you just put it on your hands real quick, use your microfiber towel. You can have a separate one just for your hands, and then have one for cleaning. It works really well for me in my room, and it might work for you too. So then I just want to I'm putting her in her permanent home in my book using my Barely Art glue. And I also want to show you guys one of those from Simon Says Stamp, those paws that they have, the silicone paws that hold our ink pads. I use that and stick the needle from my Barely Art glue in there, and that helps me to always remember, because it's sticking up front and center. It's hard to miss. Always remember to put it right back in my bottle after I tap it down a few times, and that keeps it from getting clogged, because that's a really fine needle nose tip on that glue. And if you let it, I mean, if you give it just a minute, it's going to wind up getting clogged. So that is what I do with my needle, and it really helps me to remember so my glue doesn't dry out on me. So if you're not doing that, you might want to try that. If you have all those, any silicone sticky thing will work. So there she is. I think she's going to be my favorite in the book. I don't know. I still got a couple more pages to go, and I got a couple new paper pads. So who knows? Who knows? But so far, I really love that one. Hope you guys do too. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and I will have more videos to come. I appreciate you guys, and I read all the comments and love to hear from you. Have a great day, and happy Mother's Day to everyone.